There's nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture.
Do not adjust your set. I just love the notion of a TV talking to me.
For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear.
So it didn't matter what story followed. I was already hooked by that.
Stay hooked now for The Outer Limits Farewell Tribute, a journey from past to present, as Showtime prepares to send the legendary sci-fi series off the air.
No, that's the Twilight Zone. What was The Outer Limits? Your TV. Turn the knobs and the TV is
test pattern and a bunch of stuff.
I remember one where all those guys with those big scary faces came out, and I just remember that was haunting them. Masks that these guys had with these big eyes. If that could have been something I remember from my home.
It began in 1963 in black and white, and although it lasted only 1.5 seasons, The Outer Limits attained cult status, securing its place in science fiction history. Created by producer Leslie Stevens and Joseph Stefano, famed screenwriter of Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, the original Outer Limits gave early exposure to many actors who later became big stars.
I never liked science fiction. I decided that since I didn't like science fiction that much, I would mix it with Gothic. So a lot of the shows that I wrote, especially, were ones that were very scary.
I was trapped in this invisible shield, and I turned to Chita Rivera, and I was supposed to get trapped and scream, ah, and I said to Chita, I can't scream. She said, you don't know how to scream? I said, no. She said, come with me. Heaven help her. And she walked around the set, and she went, ah! And she said, that's how you scream. I owe it all to Chita Rivera, I had to go, ah,
Management was trying desperately to find a new bear every week. The word bear was their term for the monster, or, the menace, the threat. I just remember getting in and out of that makeup a lot. And, having to dress and undress and dress and undress it. Sort of shot me with hands coming around. You just see me and that one I was able to glove. We did in that one, but it's a very effective shot.
There was no technology available to us except what you could do either with camera tricks, with mirrors, or with simply building it.
A television series, camera becomes the authority. Even if I show you a scene today out of context from Twilight Zone and one from The Outer Limits, almost anyone can pick out The Outer Limits. So again, stylish. Freddie Phillips, who did the makeup, he said, what about if we started with this? And he reached down on the floor, I swear before God, and picked up a paper Dixie cup and said, we can start with this. And we started to build on this paper cup. And that was the foundation of the makeup.
I remember, I guess it was Robert Colmer and Lee Landau, the same thing, changing the past to save the future. And they were all great moral tales.
With somewhat forbidden subjects in our repressive sort of 50s, 60s culture, it got into areas that our parents didn't want to discuss.
I mean, people don't like to be preached to, but I think that show did send out stuff, about greed and about lust.
Unless my father changes his mind, which he won't, the only thing I'll be able to give you in large amounts is money.
We felt that this was an opportunity. This show was an opportunity to say things that we maybe couldn't say without the disguise of science fiction. So we were able to make some criticisms that the network would not have allowed.
Is this the day? Is this the beginning of the end?
I wrote The Invisibles, which was as anti-CIA as you can get, but nobody knew it.
plan is to invade, to infest key men in government and industry with some alien force that seeps into the human body and takes over.
Showtime relaunched The Outer Limits in 1995. The Outer Limits. The Outer Limits. And for 6 seasons continued with the Outer Limits tradition of casting some of the best talent on television.
I think Joe Stefano's vision was kept pure in the more recent series, in that they kept to the great writing.
The script that I read is like reading a beautifully written novel that's meant to be spoken out loud, but it's so literate.
They chose a great kind of stable of directors, and they also chose probably the hottest, sexiest, most interesting actors that you could think of in the show business industry.
He was a loser, and so are you.
Have a nice day. Execute zigzag endgame.
I'm really looking forward to our time together. I think we have much in common. Charlie tells me...
I mean, if you get the opportunity to play a character that's not of this world for like 8 days, really fast and really loud, why not do it?
You get to play an alien or a robot or a hologram, things that normal television doesn't let you play, and then you're done.
It became, I think for a while, you almost had to do it. It became what you did if you had a couple of weeks free, you kind of liked the script.
Why do we choose such amazing actors? Well, these amazing actors choose us.
Settle. Rigidly adhere to Spencer Tracy's immortal address to actors. Show up on time, know your words, and don't bump into the furniture.
It's like playing baseball with somebody who knows how to do it, you know? It's a lot easier than pitching it to your 5-year-old son who can't throw the ball back where you are.
The actors on The Outer Limits were not the only stars, however. An astounding collection of aliens, props, and set pieces were amassed over the years, and each episode was chock-full of genius inventions.
The crew, the art department, hair, makeup, these guys are just remarkable in terms of manufacturing, creating, putting bits and bobs together to make something else. Yeah, I mean, there's not a Mars shop down the street where you go to buy this stuff, you know what I mean?
Being in the 6th year of the series, we're fortunate enough to have a whole team of people who have been trained to understand the difficulties of doing a show like this. Every episode only has a 7 business day prep period.
Each one is like a little movie. So you come in and you have a clean palette, you create the look. There's no standing cast, you cast it, and each one you can endow with a specific style.
Some are about science, some are about love, some are about time and space. I mean, it's just a whole grab bag. When you read the script, you know something weird is going to happen there. And they'll say, well, it's going to be this like mysterious wraith coming at you. With an evil grin. It's like, okay, real sound. Okay.
The hell was that?
What? It's really fun. It's just like a make-believe.
I don't think of myself as acting in science fiction. I just think of it as acting out a story. It matters little to me whether it's science fiction or not, as long as it seems to me to be an interesting story.
You get attracted by the hardware, and then you realize you're standing in somebody's shoes, a human being's shoes, and the flash that's going on around means less, ultimately, than what that person is going through while the flash goes around.
We saved her.
We did? The laser worked?
We saved her.
The place where you can marry science and fantasy with human truths that we all share.
Showtime sends The Outer Limits off with its star-studded concluding episode, Final Appeal, with Emmy, Tony, and Oscar-winning actors Final Appeal is the ultimate in Outer Limits guest casting.
Right.
Action!
I'll tell you that we knew going into the final episode that whatever it was going to be, we wanted it to not only encompass, hopefully wrap up the series in some way, to distill what are the themes you've been trying to attack. And for us it was many things, but primarily the role of technology in our society.
As we sit here today, the future of the 2-decade-old anti-technology codes hangs in the balance.
My first line in the piece, I come into my chambers a little late, and I say, sorry to be late, everybody. My dang horse threw a shoe.
An extremely interesting argument, which is the pluses and minuses of technology.
Have we lost something by giving up our machines, Doctor? No doubt we have. But look what we've gained.
What you tried to do by poisoning...
In Final Appeal, I played Nicole Whitley, who is a defense attorney for Amanda Plummer's character. And she's on trial for using science and technology to save the future of the world in a day and age where science and technology have been banned.
Are the fears of science re-emerging as an uncontrollable monster legitimate ones?
I think that there's some very incredibly powerful performances given.
I've played cardinals and kings and tyrants and presidents and geniuses and prophets, but never a Supreme Court justice.
How are we to know when the torch we've been handed will be used to light our way through the darkness or to burn down our homes and cities?
I hope that the final episode affords people good theater because I think it is it's both intellectually stimulating and socially stimulating.
Take a 15-minute recess, then render our decision.
Well, I want to say goodbye to the Outer Limits.
What will happen? Unknown. There is no death for me.
Well, I don't think it's goodbye. I think it's see you around, and I'm sure we will.
I certainly hope they'll be back.
Goodbye, Outer Limits. They'll be missed by many.
They're gone but not forgotten.
And I'm proud to be in it.
Bon voyage.
Bye-bye, Outer Limits.
A fond, fond farewell.
But in my heart, you will never be gone.
End of transmission.
We now return control of your television to you.